Welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast, guys, where we discuss the dynamics of life every Thursday night. You guys already know what time it is. The views we express on this program are not those of Biggs Radio, its subsidiaries, affiliates, or sponsors. Welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast with WCHI Biggs Radio Chicago, taking you from the 8 track to the latest app. You guys already know what time it is. It's exclusive interview time, and it couldn't get any better with an exclusive interview with Biggs Radio very own station manager, Miss Kim Patterson, guys. You guys, please welcome Miss Kim Patterson. I'm just saying.
Hello, beautiful ladies. How are you?
Yes, I'm hearing a little static, just a
Yeah,
little static, maybe too loud, or we will put ourselves on mute, Carmisha.
yeah, I put myself on mute.
Okay.
Maybe that's
What
what
about
it is.
now?
Okay, can we see her? But welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast, Miss Kim Patterson, the Biggs Radio station manager. welcome. Can
Okay,
you
what
guys
about?
hear me?
Yes, is this better?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
I had to take the AirPods out.
Okay. So, guys, just in case you guys are not familiar with Miss Kim Patterson, better known at times as DJ K Pats, Miss Kimberly Patterson is a professional known as DJ K Pat. She is a community leader, trailblazing entrepreneur in the entertainment industry with over 30 years of experience. Rooted in Atlanta's vibrant music scene, her musical foundation is deeply influenced by gospel, soul, R&B, funk, and classic hip hop elements that continue to shape her signature sound and creative vision. Real Life Topics podcast and Biggs radio audience, please welcome Miss Kim Patterson to Real Life Topics podcast.
Hey guys. Hey my girls. I call you my girls because I feel like,
Yes.
it's that motherly love. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes, for sure. Definitely mom vibe for sure. Like right on top of us. Definitely. Well, Miss Kim Patterson, could you tell Real Life Topics podcast and Biggs radio audience who is Kimberly Patterson?
Oh wow. That's a great question. Kimberly Patterson is very structured. I'm a mother. My son is 24. I am a daughter. And most of all, I believe in community involvement. I believe in giving back in the community because a lot of times we're so content or we're so happy with what we have and we praise that. And that's a great thing. But then there's so many people that don't have anything. They're sleeping out on the streets, on the corners. They don't have food. So I give back a lot into my community. I do at least 30 hours of community service every year, and and I am just who I am. I don't change for anybody. I can turn up and I can get business with you in a second. Okay. So I'm a loving person. I care a lot for people. I want to see people and women strive to be the best version of themselves. So top it off, that's Kim Patterson. I love music, as you all know. But overall, not tooting my own horn or being arrogant because I'm very humble. I'm very thankful for all the things that God has given me and all the opportunities. But at the end of the day, my goal is to make people better. I had people to help me to be better, and I want to pass that on to other people. I've had several people recently reached out to me like, hey, I want you to be my mentor, or hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I appreciate that. And I don't always accept every opportunity. It just has to fit because what are you promoting? What are you trying to do? I have to make sure that fits in the scope of who I am. I'm not going to be something that I'm not. Right. So that's just who I am.
So, how long have you been the station manager of Biggs Radio?
Not very long. Not very long. January 1 of this year, I've been station manager, but I've been with Bix Radio almost 2 years. What an amazing opportunity. I know you're going to have Boss Lady Donalyn Biggs on later on, but just for her to see my potential, for her to allow me to be a radio personality and to see the potential of my leadership skills, because I am a leader at my corporate job, that she wanted something addition to what she was already doing at Bix Radio. So I am very thankful for that. So it's only been since January 1st. And I can't say it's been a challenge. The only challenge is dealing with grown people, right? And and trying to gain that trust and understanding and let people be a voice of, hey, this is my idea, or this is how I feel, or whatever the case may be. But just not be a friend, but allow people to speak and give their thoughts and give their feedback is very important to me. Even in my real job or my main job, is not putting people down, not discouraging them, but lifting them up. And that's my goal, to where, not saying that Biggs Radio didn't do that, but my goal is, I want to make you better. How can I make your show better? I listen to everybody's shows all week, and I listen and I give great feedback. And then you also have to accept the negative side of it. Not really negative, but you have to have the constructive criticism and be able to receive that. Like, hey, you had a great show tonight. I would have liked to have seen or heard this. I would have liked, maybe you could try this. And not that I'm an expert, because Boss Lady has been in this game way longer than I have. But from the time that I started and to where I am right now, I feel like I have some leverage to say, hey, I went through that and it didn't get me anywhere. So I tried this, and this got me a step further, or several levels up.
So you basically answered my question, because my next question was basically about how can you tell us about your experience managing the radio station? And of course, you predominantly answered my question before I asked
I'm
you.
one step ahead of you.
Yes, you're one step ahead of me. So how do you ensure the radio station stays relevant, rapidly changing in the media landscape?
That is a very good question. Stay relevant is what's going on right now, not what happened in 1970 or the 1980s, right? Or the 1990s. Because as we know, the technical side is changing every day. AI is taking over. We have to be with the times. We can't do things that we used to do and say it worked, because that's not where our people are, our audience is. So having these one-on-one conversations with Boss Lady, and she's very well on top of all of these things. I'm not speaking, negative or saying that she's not, but we come together and we build together. We have ongoing meetings, ongoing conversations, text messages. She listens to my ideas and I listen to hers, and we implement those things. And it's her company, but she thought enough of me to say, hey, I want to bring you in because you have new ideas, you have fresh ideas, and you have a different perspective. And so I think that's a good thing. So where we're going is we're going up. We're going higher. We're going bigger. Come on. Since I've been here, and Boss Lady could probably tell you this as well, we had 3.8 million listeners last year. So that means we were doing something major, something different. She has not had that. And I feel like the team that we have currently is bringing it, right? so many different radio shows, talk show hosts, or talk shows, or we're providing a variety of things to the radio network. So I feel to answer your question is to make sure that we're relevant on technology, that we are relevant on what's going on in the industry, the music industry, and that we are showcasing all those things and we're doing what we say we're going to do and not just not do it because our name is out there. We protect our brand. And so if we say we're going to do something and we're going to be somewhere, we need to be there. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, of course, you answered my question, ma'am. And then you also answered my second question. That third and fourth question, I can't get my questions out. I mean, he's 10 steps ahead of me. And this is what you call a real manager. Already have a layout.
Anticipating the needs.
Yes,
Anticipating what's going to
already.
come
Just
next.
like, come on now. You answer my questions. I'm the interviewer. But this is what manager for you guys. One of the number one managers of a radio station, Miss Kim
Oh,
Patterson. Miss Kim Patterson, how do you see the station format evolving over the next 2 to 3 years to remain competitive? Where do you see Biggs Radio in the next 2 to 3 years?
wow. Here's the thing, we have such a best kept secret, and that is that we support independent artists. You cannot go to a mainstream FM radio station that they're really playing independent artists. And if they do, they're charging you thousands of dollars to do that. So I feel that where we are in the independent space, that a lot of independent artists are gravitating to us because we're getting their music played, we're spinning their music all day. Of course, there's a certain the time if they get a package with us, but we are promoting them. We are always tagging them, and this is where it's at. A lot of your mainstream artists are going independent. October London, Sierra, I can go on to where they want to be more independent and they want to be more control of their music. And the best thing about it is, and I don't know any radio station that's doing this, we don't pay royalties, but we are actually licensed with ASCAP, Sound Exchange, and BMI to where they get paid royalties. So I feel like where Biggs Radio is going, it's going in the right direction. We're going higher. We're going bigger. No, we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes, but we talk about those things and say, hey, we're in boardroom meetings on Zoom, with the GM, with the CEO, and myself, and we're trying to make Biggs Radio bigger than what others seem to feel. We feel that it's bigger. We feel that we are growing, but we also identify those things that we need to work on to make us better. And where we're going right now is I mean, you guys came to the South Bend conference. Those conferences are everything because independent artists does not realize the knowledge behind having music registered and how you have to have a mechanical license to actually sample somebody's song. Even if it's one word or two words out of the song, you have to have that license. You can't just go in your basement or your bathroom and just record a track and think there's going to be a hit. That was sampled from someone else that was in the studio that worked hard on it all night, and you want to sample their music. No, that's not how it goes. So the knowledge that we're giving people is huge. Because I remember when I was working with independent artists years ago, they were making music and they wanted to perform. Great. But at the time, I wasn't a lot knowledgeable like I am today on them performing certain type of songs and their music. But now it's like, okay, you want to get your music on Biggs Radio. It's just not that, okay, we got your music and we're going to play it. No, we have to make sure the sound fits Biggs Radio. We have to make sure that it is properly produced, mastered, mixed and mastered, and all of that. We have a team that actually listens to music all day. I love music and I listen to it all day, but these are professionals that do that. And if it does not fit in the scope of Big's Radio, we will reach out to them and let them know the things that need to change. And guarantee you, and I can stand by this, that a lot of them have made that change and they've come back and then we play their music. So it's all about educating, right? You have to educate because someone could grow up and say, hey, I want to be a singer, and they can really sing or they can rap and all that, but they don't have the knowledge behind the music. So I think to close out with your question is Big's Radio is going in a direction to where I have not seen any other internet radio station, FM radio station doing that support independent artists.
Very innovative.
There you go. Very innovative.
Yes, because it's definitely a drought on support for independent artists. So there you go. That I think that's a big thing of importance. Like independent artists is 80% of independent artists out here, and they want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be feel like they just on top just as much as that Billboard hit or that Grammy hit. On their way to that.
Back in the day, a lot of people, when they did come out, people would get into these contracts, and because they didn't have knowledge, people would be getting over on them all the time. People had a lot of bad deals. People were, multi-million-dollar platinum artists, but didn't have a dime in their pocket. So to be able to be independent and actually grind and actually see the fruits of your labor is a big thing, especially when people are there to actually challenge you to be better and actually showing you the ropes as well.
That's right. That's right. And you own your stuff. You own it.
It's yours.
Your record label is guiding you, telling you what to do with your own music. They can't take that away from you.
They can't take your creativity away.
They can't. They can't.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm ready.
All right.
You ready to get in the studio now?
Okay, so I want to ask you, because you seem like you pull up from a lot of different hats. So tell me who is, because we already talked about the manager, and then we also have DJ K Pat, and then we have the Kim Patterson show. So tell me the different dynamics of those different shows and how do you bring them together to be cohesive for Big's Radio?
Oh, wow. Whew. So on my show, The Thursday Night Rewind, I grew up in the 70s, which I developed pretty much in the 80s and the 90s. 90s and 2000, and 80s, 90s and 2000s is my genre of music that I love. So I want to bring, because again, you listen to FM radio, you don't hear a lot of these songs that I play, right? And they were hit songs. For some reason, they may not have been a hit to FM radio. So I want to bring people back in to a remembrance. Where were you in the 90s, right? Where were you in the 2000s when Nelly, Ashanti, Fat Joe, all of them came out? Where were you? I'm sorry, that was the 2000s, but the 90s, Total, Biggie, Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, like all of that. Like I want to bring people back to remember. It's like, God, I forgot about that song. So
reminisce.
Yes, and then I can't forget about the 80s. I do this. I'm on another show on Saturday where I do the Set It Off Saturday. Like, y'all remember your mom, your grandparents, or however you grew up. Get up and clean this house.
Sunday mornings.
Yeah, get up and clean this house. And they was listening to vinyls, Luther Vandross, Stephanie Mills, Shaka Khan, and all that. And you up like, you don't know any of this music, right? Because that's probably not what you was listening to. But they played that music and you started to learn the music and you started to like it. And you remembered like, oh, my parents played this music. We had to get up at 6 in the morning. My mom made us get up at 6 in the morning, cleaning baseboards, blinds, everything. She did not play, and she still doesn't play to this day. Her house is super clean. And that's how me and my sister learned to keep our house in order. Like, hey, we got up, we had the music going. And so that's, it's like, it's a little different. Thursday Night Rewind is a little different than Saturday.
Okay.
because of my audience. My audience is a little bigger on Big's radio, and I have an audience from 25 all the way to 60, 70 years old. So I have to blend in different type of music. It's almost like when I'm DJing, you have to look at the crowd and see what the crowd is feeling. You got to feel the crowd.
Mhm.
But because I know my age group of my show, I can say, okay, I got my parents on. I know they want to hear some Maze, featuring Frankie Beverly or some Luther. Then I got some girlfriends on. They 90s and 2000s. I'm gonna give you that. Then I got some 70s for you too. So it's just different, and I'm amazed by how I'm able to switch it up because I'm able to hear my listeners, have people that DM me all the time, like, oh, I listen to your show, you be jamming, I love the 80s or whatever. People be calling in, they want to hear certain music. So I try to level it out, but then at the same time, I have to go with where I am or what I'm doing. If it's a Thursday night rewind, if it's a set it off Saturday, it just kind of changes up a little bit, but I try to give them hits. And sometimes I always say this on my shows, like sometimes you gotta hear the album. You hear one song, you have to hear
Mhm.
the whole album. And then there are gems on that album that they're not playing on the radio.
Mhm.
I'm going to play them.
But that's
I have,
how you know you're a real music fan, because a lot of people know the mainstream music. But when
mm-mm.
you can go in the album or say certain
Yes,
songs
ma'am.
and bring back even certain songs you may even forgot about, and you may hear it and it's like, oh my God, like you said, it makes you reminisce. And it brings back
Yes,
so many flood of different memories of the smelling of a cooking or whatever the case may be.
all
So
that. I'm for all that. I'm old school, right, with a little new school flavor.
mm-hmm.
But I like to bring people back in
Together.
remembrance and
Mhm.
bringing them like, oh man, like you was kid, that's my song or whatever. Like I like that feeling. I get an adrenaline rush off that because I'm like, I'm doing something right. Because if you don't know this, everybody should know this. Music heals. Whether you're going through death, a relationship,
Mhm.
uh, broke up, with somebody, it just heals. There's a song for everything. And I listen to it all day. I don't get tired of it.
Me neither.
I listen to it all day. If I'm not on a meeting, a Zoom call or whatever, I got my AirPods in and I'm listening to music. And I'm always trying to hear new music as well. A lot of it I can't get with. I just can't. But some of it gravitates to me. I'm like, oh, I like that. A lot of the new neo soul that's coming out. Of course, I love Chris Brown and all of that, but and Ella May and her, so it's just, I just try to balance it between both shows. And it seems to work out.
So with that being said, because you are transitioning from the older genre of music to the new era of music, what do you see the differences in the dynamic of the music from yesterday and today?
I'm so glad you asked that question. No one's never asked me that. So ding, ding, ding to you. So the difference is when our parents and maybe our grandparents were growing up, there were real love songs,
Mm-hmm.
right? You were telling a woman how you feel. You was telling a woman how you want to make love to her
Mm-hmm.
In a respectful way.
in a respectful way.
It was finessing.
Yes.
Mm.
And then today, legs shaking, take your clothes off, and I, I can say more, but I'm not. But
We get it. We get it. We understand. Like, say less. Say less.
like, women are not made to just lay down.
Mm-mm.
All right, we are made of more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I'm dating you and you want to take me out on a date, tell me, men don't court women anymore.
Mm-mm.
Court me. Tell me I look beautiful. Tell me my eyes are beautiful. Tell
Flowers,
me flowers,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yes.
And don't just take me on a date and think you're gonna feed me and you're gonna lay down with me. No, it ain't going down like that. Okay? My father is a charmer. He charmed my mom respectfully,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't want anything out of the deal. He
Mm-hmm.
just saw a beautiful woman that
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to get to know. And
Mm-hmm.
he used to sing this song to her. I think it's Moody Blues by George Benson. There I go, there I go, there I go. And he's loved the whispers and all that. So he would sing to her and he would charm her. He would open the door for her. Things like that. That's what this generation is missing. We don't have that in song. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have that in men. Not bashing men. I love all men. Trust me.
But do you think it's part of the music though? Because listen, the music
Got to
shapes
do with it.
it
It's
shapes who we are. And like you said, your father came from the generation of love songs and teaching you how to woo and be smooth and finesse. So
yes,
it's part of the dynamic of what we listen to. Like they say, you are what you eat. You know what I'm saying? Windows are the eyes of the soul, and what you listen to, it shapes who you
absolutely.
are.
Yes, yeah, and yeah, it definitely has changed over the years. I can't get with it,
So
but
what would you add back into it? Because you seen what was taken away. What would you add back to the music? One
I,
dynamic.
I would add back in telling a woman how you feel, and if you were wrong, be accountable for that and tell her how you feel. I messed up. R. Kelly did it. When a woman's fed up, ain't nothing a man can do about it, right? So tell a woman in song, if you're an independent artist or whatever artist is listening right now to my voice, tell a woman who she is, identify who she is, tell her how much you feel about her. Not
Mm-hmm.
that you're trying to have sex with her, but tell her how you feel from your soul, right? And I think that's what's missing a
Mm-hmm.
lot in these days. It's not all about laying down.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to know who I am before I lay down with you.
Mm-hmm.
Know everything about me. And you may not know everything at one time, but over time you will. Oh, I know your favorite color is black. Oh, I know you don't do flowers, but you love vinyl records or you love music. I want somebody to know all the things about me before they decide to want to come at me in that manner of saying, I want to lay down with you. Because it's not about that. I want to sit across the table with you and have a conversation with you without any pause.
Mm-hmm.
We back and forth. We feeding off each other. I'm finishing your sentence, you finish my sentence. And that's very rare, hard to find. But I would say anybody tell someone how you feel. And it doesn't have anything to do with sex.
Mm-hmm.
Feed my mind
Mm-hmm.
and my soul
Mm-hmm.
and my spirit. You
Well,
do
there you
that.
have it. Yes, that there you have it,
But
guys.
we
There
gonna
you
have that's
have it,
another
guys.
conversation for another day, another time.
I know. And then
Okay,
we need to have
okay,
another conversation.
okay.
Hey,
Okay,
boss
well there
lady.
you have it, guys. Of course, Miss Dinah Lynn. Of course, we're honored. Of course, in the building. Boss lady is in the building, guys. Miss Dinah Lynn is in the building, guys. But of course, we just had a segment with Miss Kim Patterson, the station manager of Biggs Radio. But could you just tell the audience what does Biggs Radio have up in common? Of course, I do know that Jerry Austin and the Manhattans, April 19th, guys, at the Hilton Chicago and Oak Lawn, hosted by Miss Dinah Lynn. You guys make sure you check that out. Get your ticket. You just come out. It's a
Yeah,
free.
it's
I'm saying it's
free.
a
No
free
tickets
incident.
involved. It's free.
Yes, it's
It's
free. It's
yeah.
free.
It's gonna
So
be amazing.
yes. So of course, Miss Kim Patterson from Biggs Radio. Biggs Radio, the station manager, one of the number one station managers in the building. We were so honored. We were so honored that you were in the building.
I
Of course,
enjoyed
you
you guys.
guys, Biggs Radio in the next 2 to 3 years we're up and coming billionaires. And make sure you join the movement. Make sure you
Absolutely.
join the movement, guys. And of course, Miss Kim Patterson, of course, her show is coming up next. Miss Kim, could you let them know about your show that's coming up next?
It's coming up in 25 minutes, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, Thursday night rewind, playing all your forgotten hits. Tonight I will have Sir Jonathan Williams will be calling in. He's been in the industry over too many decades that I can't even recall. But he's going to be joining the show. But I thank you guys. Thank you, ladies, so much for your time. Thank you for even considering me on your show. You guys are doing an amazing job. Keep doing it. Boss lady, salute. I'm out of here. It's your time to shine.
All right now.
Yes. Well, guys, of course, it can't get no better than this, Biggs Radio audience and Real Life Topics podcast audience. This is the moment that you guys have been waiting for. And it's one of the biggest moments, in my opinion. And it's facts. One of the first Black women to own a station in the state of Indiana, Miss Dinah Lynn. Please welcome to Real Life Topics podcast and Biggs Radio audience.
What's up? What's up? Dinah Lynn
Yes.
in the building. Turn
Say
up,
it again.
y'all. Come on,
Say it
turn
again.
up, turn up.
That's right. That's right.
Turn up. Turn up. It
Yes.
can't get no better than this. Guys, if you guys are not familiar with the founder of Biggs Radio, I'm going to make you guys aware that
Talk
Miss
about it,
Dinah
girl.
Lynn is a native of Gary, Indiana. She is a respected leader, an industry trailblazer, a nationally recognized radio executive, a veteran, very influential. 4 decades in the game, in the radio game. 4 decades, guys. Please welcome Miss Dinah Lynn, the founder of WCHI Biggs Radio.
Let's talk about it. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Hey,
Miss Dinah
girls.
Lynn Biggs. Could you please let
Hey.
Biggs Radio and Real Life Topics podcast audience know who is Miss Dinah Lynn Biggs?
Man, I'm just that girl out here trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. You better ask somebody. That's what I'm doing out here.
Yes. Yes, Miss Dinah Lynn. What made you begin your career in radio
Ooh.
and how old were you?
Ooh, you're going way back to the teenage years. I was a young teenager over in Gary, Indiana, working as a file clerk at VJ Records, the first black-owned record label in the world. Before Motown, before Puff Daddy. Google it. Vivian Carter owned VJ Records. She is the original founder of the Beatles. She brought the Beatles to the United States, and that was their first time ever coming to America. She made them stars. That's where I started at as a kid. Filing records in record drawers back then. And one day somebody didn't show up for work, and Vivian Carter said, put her on the radio. And I was like 16, 17. I was like, who, me? She said, yep, say what I say and say it like I say it. And here we are 50 plus years later. That's how it all began.
How old were you when you decided to branch off and come out with your own radio station?
It was only about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. My whole journey consisted of working at terrestrial stations, the GCIs, the BMXs, all of those kinds of stations over the years. I've served in every capacity at a radio station. I was the board operator. I was the answering the door, the telephones. I started in every capacity in radio as a young teenager. Yeah.
What defines your single moment that can convince you that hey, Biggs Radio is gonna survive long term? Biggs Radio is where it's gonna be at. When did you realize that?
Well, it all started when the pandemic hit in 2020, and the world was shut down, so to speak. And I wasn't able to go to work at WOSD Radio in Chicago at the Regal Theater, where I traveled to weekends for over 10 years. So I was stuck in Indianapolis because the world was shut down. And my good friend, Dr. Al Grill, and I talked about it. And I said, well, maybe I should just start my own station. So, I thought about it. We got cabin fever, the world shut down. So, it's one thing about me, I'm pretty smart. So I started Googling and looking up stuff and getting licenses. And I was like, well, who's going to help me do this? So I handpicked everybody that works at my radio station to work with me. I called all my friends. My DJ friends, Julian St. Chris, Nino, these guys were running underground record labels and things out in the streets. I said, hey man, go get some button up shirt and some shoes. Well, let's do this thing. Let's turn this into a real radio station. I mean, this is a true story. They was like, what? Put some shoes on. They was just DJs in the street. I'm like, we getting ready to level up. Y'all gonna roll with me or what? It was like, all right. So it all began like that. It wasn't planned. It wasn't a dream. It was never a dream of mine. But what was really important, guys, listen to me closely. Sometimes we as people know more stuff than we even know we know. When I started putting together the radio station, do you know I could do that stuff flawlessly? Because I've been in the room for 40 years. I had heard everything. It wasn't even hard at all. Once I started doing it, the only thing that changed in building the station was how was I going to make mine better? That was the only thing that changed. I knew how to do everything because I had worked as a slave in radio for everybody all of those years. And it was my time.
So, what do you think it was your toughest business decision that you had to make for the station?
My toughest business decision was putting myself in the front of it because everybody that really knows me, I don't like to be talked about. I don't like to talk about me or any of that. I'm just a behind the scenes doer. I built this with just, I remember the first listener. It was me. We had one
Mm,
listener. It was me. And
mm,
I talked to my friends, and, you know, it just so happens that the people that helped me with this dream, they all passed away. Like
mm,
before I could launch the station, Joe Ali, he founded Men at Large and a few other people. Then Alvin Washington, he died. My marketing director in Chicago, he died. And I'm like, God, what's going on? These are my backbones. These are people that help me be who I am. God said, you got it, girl. You're gonna be all right.
I say it
You got
again.
it. You got it. So then I started finding more people to come and join us. You know, people reached out, but everybody that's a part of my team are my friends. We don't have no
mm.
strangers over here. We don't have no strangers. And that was the difference. And I think that's what come across to people when they see us, hear us, and watch us play.
Hmm.
Mhm. Tarisha?
Um, you seem like a very honest soul, a very down to earth person. And being a lady boss, what has been your biggest challenge? Because you give lady boss vibes. You know what I mean? Like don't play. So
Uh-huh.
what have been some of your biggest challenges, or even some of your biggest accolades as a lady boss?
Well, I'll start with the easy one. My biggest accolade was when Joe Biden gave me the Community Service Award. Me, just a kid from Gary, Indiana, with a case of water and a microphone. They called me and they was like, we want to give you this award. You need to get clearance with Secret Service. I'm like, man, I didn't even return the call. Then my manager's like, yo, they like serious. You really got to go to St. Louis. And I said, are you serious now? They gonna give me the award? Okay. Couldn't find nobody to go with me. Everybody was busy. Nobody wanted to put a suit on to go with Biggs. Okay. So I put on my red dress,
Hmm.
my high heels, and got down that highway. And to be there to be honored is something he does once a year,
Mm,
where he recognized people in the community. And I was like really afraid because a lot of times we don't know what we're putting out in the universe. I'm
mhm.
trying to think, did I have my bra off somewhere in a picture, or was I drinking Hennessy? Or I'm trying to think. Well, I was like, well, whatever it is, they picked me. So when I got there, I was like, man, just completely amazed. But this was the best moment in my life, right? So be in the room with all the snobs, the stuck up, the black suits, you know what I mean. I'm not that girl.
Mhm.
Anybody that really know me, I'm not that girl. I'll do it for office. I'll do it to get paid, all that. But I'm just laid back. So I walk in the room, everybody getting their award. Oh, thank you, President Biden. All that. They called my name. I was like, Uncle Joe, what's happening? Boy, they fell out. They were like, oh my God. I like broke the silence. And he was like, oh boy, here comes the life of the party. I mean,
That's
I'm
right.
chilling with the president,
That's
you
right.
know? So and they had to make him stop talking to me so the show can go on because he liked me. Because
Yeah.
I was just regular. He was probably tired of standing up there going,
With
"Yes,
all
I'm
the
Mhm,
President Joe." So
mhm.
I got that certificate, and I was by myself, and God said you need to learn to accept the things that you have accomplished. So
hmm
that was the best. But the worst is being a female in the music industry.
hmm
That's been some moments of desperation, no moments of not feeling worthy, crying, disrespected, everything you can think of, especially being a young person. I started out at VJ Records, but I became one of the Hot Mix Five. I traveled in Chicago with the Hot Mix Five. If you look back, I was the only girl that was with the group back then. I learned how to scratch mix, and I was one of the hottest DJs in the Midwest. Seriously, that was what I did. So I was the girl hosting all the after work parties, DJing the club. I had the whole week set. That was me. Well, my mama hated it. She said I was throwing my life away out there in the streets all night with them guys. You know how your mama is. I'm like, Mom, no, no, I ain't. She said, promise me you'll get your degree. So I have several degrees. I DJed at night and went to school, and I worked and worked and worked, through my whole career as that. And, I even had a day job with the prosecutor's office, and I retired. And when I retired, all the people from the club came to the retirement party. It was like, how you retiring from somewhere? You was at the club with us. I'm like, but I went to school. Y'all went and had 4 more babies.
Huh.
I got up and I went to school because I promised my mom that I would, because she didn't understand the whole DJ thing. And she's older now, and when we go visit her, they turn the station on in the car. And she'll listen to it, and then she'll look at me, and then she trying to figure out how you on the radio. And then she told my brother, she's still DJing. She ain't
Oh,
she ain't she ain't changed her life. My brother's like, Ma, she a little more than a DJ right now.
you don't even
She
know. You don't even know.
she don't even know. She don't even know. And she said, I be wondering why the people at church talk about my daughter all the time. I just feel like she could have did something different with her life.
Ain't
But
mama
it's
something else?
yeah, she's something else. But it's my journey, my dream. And sometimes you have to know what your passion is.
Mm,
And I'm telling you, ladies, it took me a long time to know that this was actually my passion. Sometimes you do things repetitiously. I've had microphones snatched out of my hand on stage by guys who felt like I didn't need to have the mic. I've had just all kinds of things happen to me, like, oh, she ain't nothing. Y'all just listen to her because she pretty. Well, a few years ago, you didn't see the people on the radio. You just heard their voice.
mm-hmm.
Don't take my credit away for
Ain't
being
the-
a real good DJ. I'm a pretty good DJ. I'm gonna have to go on and claim that on the radio. And it shows, and Wikipedia shows me having 500,000 listeners back in 2016.
mhm.
So apparently something was going on pretty good.
Say it again.
There you go.
Okay, so because we're drawing close to the hour, so I want to ask you because there are so many, like you say, women who are in different genres and different industries who have so many issues, like you say, with confidence and just being really who they are. What advice can you give even us as entrepreneurs who are coming up, as women, how to settle ourselves and be exactly who we need to be in this industry?
I am very partial to the women in the industry. Most of the ladies here at Biggs Radio are first timers.
Mm-hmm.
I put them on the mic the first time, and I am so proud of what they are becoming. And I always tell them, you got to believe what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it for you. You
Mm-hmm.
got to believe and you got to have confidence, because when you guys turn the mic on, I can tell if you're timid, if you're afraid, or if you're confident then about what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I watch you guys every week, and y'all get crank with it. Y'all be talking and showing, and it goes across. People feel that. They can feel your voice. You
Mm-hmm.
could tell on the radio if I'm having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could tell, I just tell everybody, women, be put your foot down as this who I am, and this is what I'm doing. Either roll with me or roll out. Bottom line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to everyone tuning in on Biggs Radio and Real Life Topics Podcast. We got Kimberly Patterson in the building, Mr. J Hive, of course, Mr. Nino.
I have to ask.
And
I have
so,
one more question though too.
so many people tuning in. Just shout out to you guys.
Okay. So as far as history is concerned, because you know you're at this point you are a historic figure, like you have made your mark in the world as a woman. With that being said, how does that feel? How does that feel just knowing that you have accomplished everything that you set out to accomplish?
Well, it's still a challenge because people still want to challenge you. When I started Biggs Radio and I became the first black female radio station owner in the state, not one of, the only one, I was challenged by Madam CJ Walker's camp
Hmm.
because Madam CJ Walker is from Indy.
Mm,
And her camp called, CNN called, and I'm like, whoa, wait. I just got a license for a radio station. I don't know what y'all talking about. I didn't ask to be the first anything. But news is news. When you get licenses, people follow and they track that. CNN told me I was the first black female radio station owner. I'm probably gonna roll with what CNN say.
okay.
And then Madam C.J. Walker, them called, and then it's like, well, we got to investigate this. But it turned out that Madam C.J. Walker had a radio station in Indiana as a corporation, not as a independent owner like myself. So they had to walk it back and send me some flowers.
Hmm.
Still a challenge, still being challenged. I didn't ask for that. But okay, now here we are, and this is what I am. So this is what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna make it grow. So, it's always a challenge out there, and making history has changed the game. People expect more of you. They
Hmm.
want to hold you more accountable because it's written in stone that this is what you are and who you do. So, I just try to make sure all of us are able to walk as a team in the light and shine. Some people left Biggs Radio and went to other stations. And the one of the guys that left and went to another station called me up. He said, "Hey man, some people that left your station, we hired them over here." I was like, "Oh, that's good. People need to grow, do their job, whatever." The guy said, "Man, you got these people effed up." I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Man, they spoiled. They thinking they gonna get T-shirts and backdrops and banners and go on trips." He said, "I told that dude, man, you ain't going nowhere over here. You better get on the microphone. You ain't getting no shirt. You're not getting anything." But I've been an employee and I know how I want to feel working with
Hmm.
somebody. I want to feel a part of something. This is not just me. It's all of us. Biggs Radio is all of us. Yeah, that's it.
What's driving you to stay in the game?
Huh?
You've been in the game for 30 years now. What's driving you to just stay in this game?
You know, I often wonder myself because I wear a lot of hats. It's a lot of things I do. I'm a grandmother. I'm the number one grandmother on earth. I host concession stands. We sponsor teams, uniforms. I do a lot of good stuff. I was married until I lost my husband a few years ago. I figure I was a great wife, all of those good things, but I just kept getting pulled back in. And I think it's because it's my passion.
Hmm.
Like I said, you don't realize it. You don't realize it that this is what I just kept getting pulled back in. When I left a terrestrial station and I didn't work anywhere on radio, Al Greer called me. He said, "Biggs, get your stuff and come over here to WOSD."
Hmm.
We worked out at a Regal Theater, rocking it up. Radio stations, GCI, all of them, Ramonski Love, going like, "What? Where they come from?" And we just kept consistent with it, and consistency is a key.
Hmm.
Then I started paying attention to where I was being drawn to and realizing, how can I make this better? I can make it better with the people I put around me, the people who I'm mentoring to be better, to move on. I can't wait till somebody want one of you guys to come work with them so you can say I'm your manager.
Say it again.
Say it again, girl.
It's,
Yep.
it's,
No,
it's
and no.
to me, it's in the last name. Big says it all. So we gonna keep it right there.
Right. And then,
Okay.
but wait, they tried to tell me that I couldn't keep the name. Some other body had some big stuff, and they tried to say that I couldn't have the name. Well, my brother owns a lot of stuff for Big's World and all that. And I was like, "What do you mean I can't keep this? It's my daddy's name." They
Hmm.
thought I made the name up. They didn't know that it
Mm.
was really my name.
Hmm.
So, it was just a whole big deal. But I sold some stations to iHeartRadio.
Hmm.
I built these stations. We have been debt free the entire time that we have been Biggs Radio. We don't owe nobody no money. We may not have a lot to give nobody, but we don't owe nobody. I've never had a loan. I partnered with Reverend Jesse Jackson, who vetted us completely. Biggs Radio Chicago was inside Operation Push until last year.
Hmm.
That's where our studios were. So Jesse wanted to know where you get your money from, how you start the station, who you are. I'm like, I don't own nobody. We don't owe nobody no money. I loaned the station money when my grandfather died, and the station paid me back. We've been debt free the entire time, which makes us even better.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, because be seeing that you have been in the game so long, and like you said, you know this the ins and outs. When you did decide to put Biggs Radio together, what did you want to do different from all the other stations that were out there?
I wanted us to move in motion. I wanted my station to move in unison. I see all these big stations and everybody's doing something different. Nobody's on the same page. All those people that work at V103, 1063, you don't see them out like you see us.
Uh-uh.
Color coordinated, having a good time, coming up as a team. That's what makes us what we are. That's the
Mm-hmm.
difference. I wanted people to be happy about working here. Pay might not be the greatest, but you're doing something you love and you're
Right.
letting the world see it.
Mm-hmm. And the
Yes.
exposure itself speaks volumes because a lot of people don't even get that much. So I mean, I'm
Yeah,
grateful and thankful to even just have the opportunity to be in the presence of Big Radio and be on the station, honey. And I hope that we can continue to grow with you all
right
for years
on.
to come.
Right on. You see
Yes,
them
because
gold
Biggs
records back
Radio
there?
got big things coming soon.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
make sure you
You
guys
see them
tune in
gold
to Biggs
records?
Radio.
Yes.
Yep. Them gold records we got
Okay.
from breaking music all over the world.
Okay.
Yeah, them gold records, them belong to me. That's what I've been doing. When people say what you've been doing for 50 years, that's what I've been doing. Breaking records. It's a real thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
shout
I
out to
understand that
Dr.
because
Al
I wouldn't
Greer
want to
and Daryl
be
Griggs for
famous
tuning in as
either.
well, guys.
Say it
Okay.
again. I'm sorry.
I said shout out to Daryl Grigg and Dr. Al Greer for tuning in.
Hi
Hey
guys.
guys.
A part of the Biggs Radio team is in the building, of course, guys.
Support, support.
Yeah.
Yes. Wish you say, Carmisha?
I forgot, girl. It left me.
Yeah.
I
Well,
had
there you have it. Well, there you have it, though. Of course, guys, this is Women History's Month, and of course, Women's History Month. It was for the month of March. We only a
Mhm.
day. We only a day or so behind, guys.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we had to end and begin the beginning of April just to shout out what other way history is it with the first Black woman
The new year.
that the owner of a radio station in the state of Indiana. It can't get no much historic than that. Miss Dinah Lynn, it is an honor
Honor.
to interview you. It is an honor to be a part of Biggs Radio. A big history with Biggs Radio, and Biggs Radio has so many things coming soon. Miss Dinah Lynn, can independent artists, Dinah Lynn and Biggs Radio support independent artists? How could they contact you, Miss Dinah Lynn?
Man, we out there everywhere. They know how to get at us. We everywhere.
Yes, www.biggsradio.com.
Talk about it.
This is Miss Dinah Lynn in the building, the founder of Biggs Radio Chicago, WCHI. Taking taking it from the latest track to taking it from the 8 track to the latest track.
Okay, let me tell you about that real quick. We own that slogan. I made that up. Taking you from the 8 track to the latest app.
Okay.
That's because that's what I did. I played 8 tracks, and now I'm playing apps. We in the cloud. That's a real thing. We own that. Yeah, you got bragging rights on that. We take you from the 8 track to the latest app.
Boss.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Boss lady. That's what I like. I like it.
And make sure you guys tune in to Biggs Radio 24/7. You can click on www.biggsradio.com Monday through Sunday, any time of the day, and check out it. A lot of people. We got Miss Messy on Wednesdays. We got Dr. Al Greer. We got the Kimberly Patterson show. We got the Dinah Lynn show on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
We have Lunch Mix with Mr. Nino and many more things. Just go on www.biggsradio.com. It is an honor to interview Miss Dinah Lynn, the founder. There you have it, guys. Make sure you guys tune in to Real Life Topics podcast every Thursday night on all platforms, including www.biggsradio.com. Thank you so much, Miss Dinah Lynn, for your presence. And guys, it's Biggs Radio and Real Life Topics podcast. You guys have a good evening.
All right. And partying in love, peace, and charity. Keep a smile on your face. It'll make people wonder what you've been up to.
Okay. Say it again.
For sure.
Bye-bye.